Well, my initial interest was in journalism on leaving second level, and really an interest in public space and public decision making and the consequence for that, not only at a local level but also a national level. So that was my initial hook into it, I suppose. Also, in terms of information I heard in advance was about this idea of the diversity of modules being offering. So it was a mixture of politics modules, political science modules, and also some business modules as well. So bearing in mind at that stage, I knew that there would be a change over the 4 years of my university life, and so it was handy to have those options within there for modules as well. I suppose the content was really split. The political side of the content was really split between a focus on local, national, and European politics. Now, my main focus really was on Irish politics, and it has remained that way since. But at the same time, there's no harm in having exposure to both, and that it increases your analytical ability to look at various different situations, either whether it's looking at current affairs as we see them rolling now, but also just analysing different contexts. You apply the same framework of analysis or the same skills in terms of looking at context, no matter whether it's a local or a national case. I suppose my other driving motivation was on this idea of young people's engagement in politics, even at that stage, and this was pre-Celtic Tiger or pre-post-Celtic Tiger era. There was a focus on, well, what was the engagement and what was the social change that was happening at the end of the 20th century. And I think a lot has happened in the last 15 years that is ripe for questioning or ripe for analysis, even at that age group, I suppose. During the program, and it's really a function of how the modules are assessed, really, or the tasks that are set within in topic, that you get a great opportunity for oral presentation skills, which is critical for afterwards, no matter what workplace you go into. And this is something that my peers and fellow students have said to me even since, and that you're challenged in various different ways, be it working as an individual or working in groups in oral presentation, and that's critical. Now we realise that that's a critical ability and critical skill to have. But also in terms of team and individual work, you're working to task. You're working in various different contexts, be it on case studies approach or comparative approach. These are all different ways of thinking, and these are different ways of analysing material and coming at material, which is handy for any project that you have. At the same time, we had a work placement in third year, which allowed us to take on our own particular tasks. And I'm aware since that there's a dissertation module added to the fourth year, so that it provides students with an opportunity to take on their own question. They have freedom in picking the question, and really see it as a setup for maybe looking at something for further study or something to take on afterwards in their own particular work setting. So it gives people responsibility, both in individual and group work. That's really what I found with it, I suppose. One's around local government, one's around political culture. And these are ubiquitous in a way, they apply no matter what the country or the case may be. But my own interest was on looking at how do things happen in Ireland, local government wise, and we also got an introduction to Swedish models of local governance, continental models, what was happening in France, what was happening in Germany, what's happening in UK. Local government is the stuff of politics. This is, it might sound anarchy, but this is how citizens at local level make a decision. And we got a great exposure to that. The work placement itself was very interesting. I went to the Scottish Parliament to work with, at that time, it was a Deputy Minister for Health at the time. So I got a great exposure, not only to parliamentary life, but also to a minister's responsibility. So there's a diversity of focus there, and also her own constituency work as well. Now, as it happened, for the 2 weeks where she was on holidays, I got a bit more responsibility in terms of acting as pretty much her parliamentary secretary for the 2 weeks while everybody else was on holidays. So you get exposed to various things, and really it converts your learning into a real work situation, which is good both in terms of prepping for afterwards, but also going into that fourth year, it really crystallizes your mind as to maybe what decisions you'd like to make as you're going out, what subjects you'd pick in fourth year, and where you'd maybe like to go with it, be it political or be it shifting from the political, I suppose, as well. Well, in particular, UCC, it's nestled as a very condensed campus in a way, very well landscaped campus, but a very condensed campus in that it's right in the middle of the city. It's close to all social, cultural, sporting activities, both from a university point of view, but also from a city point of view. For students travelling outside of Cork, be it elsewhere in Ireland, be it other European students, or from further afield, there is a lot available now, both from a student society perspective, but also from Cork as a city. Cork is a multicultural city at the moment. And really the city's embraced that, in both in terms of social events that are there, in terms of clubs that are there, which all allow networking in between those travelling from outside and locals, be it students or also residential communities as well. The one benefit I would suggest with UCC is how tight it is as a campus and how close it is to the city centre. It really means that there's a strong link between the city and between the local community as well, and that's of benefit both to local students and to those travelling in from outside as well. Well, I suppose in my own particular experience, of course, I'd recommend it in that it really furthered my interest in politics. It really moved it from just a basic interest in one particular area, be it geography in Ireland, into just seeing the diversity that was there, opportunities to study different electoral systems, opportunity to look into political psychology. But even a lot of my peers have gone on to teaching roles, to legal professions, to business side, financial services. So it really provided us all with an opportunity to diversify as our interests change, as inevitably they do. And also those skills that were learned in terms of communication skills, analytical skills, they serve you well for life in any case. I suppose from my perspective as well, we were the first cohort of the course, and really it was very clear to us that the staff took an interest in us. It's quite a small intake in terms of students, roughly 50 students in each year. It's quite a small intake, so we have quite a lot of hands-on time with lecturers, both when you're on a module basis in terms of information on assignments, in terms of feedback on assignments, but also as you progress through university and after university, you still maintain strong links with the department, and I think that's been the case, not only for our initial cohort, but cohort since as well. So I think you actually do have a strong community feel that you don't necessarily always get with wider programs. So that's one of the main reasons why I'd suggest it, I suppose.